Well, hello. I think I have my mic on at the start of the show for once. I also think I managed to mess up playing the intro in, but you know what? It wouldn't be an episode of the Geeknd Live without some kind of failure on some kind of level, getting close to epic right at the start. And the only way is probably down. As this stream continues for the next 30 minutes or so. I hope you're keeping well. Tristan, welcome. Welcome back, Skywalker Sound. Welcome back, OMG to you. This is the show that has the magical effect of making people unsubscribe from the channel in their masses, I found out, unless you're Tristan Peterson or Skywalker Sound. But anyway, that won't stop us. If you're new here, then this channel is home to regular movie content like a monthly Star Wars interview series, documentaries. I sometimes track down movie locations in the real world, and I provide a bit of nonsense as well. And also, I guess, your standard news and reviews and whatever else. So, coming up over the next 30 minutes or so, we will feast together on some delicious geek salad. Where's the graphic? Where's the graphic? Here's the graphic, everybody. There's the graphic. Geek Salad, and hello Nick, and hello H.G. Wells, and Aaron Young as well. I'm wearing a different jacket for you, Aaron, I'm afraid. So, tonight's Geek Salad, or really I should probably explain in case you knew what this Geek Salad is that we're about to feast upon together. It's my freshly handpicked sort of news stories that I would like to discuss with you. That's right, so keep the comments coming in the chat, and I will say hello to a few more people in the chat right now who have just joined us. Snuggles, it is a beautiful looking salad, isn't it? Sidge is in the house as well. Hello Sidge, I think I've said hello to everybody who's here so far. Now our Geek Salad stories today consist of me multitasking, trying to change graphics and speak and breathe, and also beating off this cold. Not cold as in illness, don't worry. Cold as in I am sitting in a shed right now, which most of you know, and the temperature just keeps on dropping as the weeks go on. So we are going to talk about to break bad or not to break bad. That is the question for young Grogu. We're going to talk about the likelihood of little baby Yoda, the child, the asset, so many names, but Grogu, let's call him Grogu. The chances of him actually breaking bad in The Mandalorian. But first, another franchise that's close to my heart. Also, another person that's close to my heart. I've just seen pop up in the chat. Simon Drake, welcome. As a fellow West Midlander, not Simon, me, of origin, like J.R.R. Tolkien himself. That's where the comparison stopped between me and J.R.R. I'm obviously talking about Lord of the Rings, specifically the Amazon series, which Aragorn himself, Viggo Mortensen, spoke about this week. Not in a kind of negative way. I don't, do that so much on this channel. Try and create sort of big, loud headlines out of very small things. So you want to talk about this series? It's kind of bypassed me a bit, this series. I heard about it when it was first announced, when Amazon bought the rights for a huge amount of money. I think there was a big bidding war between them and Netflix. And when I first heard about this series, I was, my heart sank. I can see, Sid, you're excited about it. I'll come on to whether I'm excited about it now or not. But when I first heard about it, my heart sank because, truly nothing is sacred these days. And it's surely always going to be too soon to remake or retell at least, one of the finest movie trilogies of all time, in my opinion. And by the way, I think it's going to be 20 years since the Fellowship of the Ring came out next year, and it still looks fantastic. But once my fury subsided, about 6 months later, I continued reading the very same story and learnt that it was actually to be a prequel. And that made me feel a bit better, but still not massively excited. And I've been wondering why. I saw the Viggo quotes the other day, and I've just been wondering why I'm not as excited for this as I really should be. So I want to know how you guys are feeling about it in the chat, which I'll come on to in a moment. But take another one of my favourite franchises, for example, Star Wars. I like Star Wars, right? Is that Has that become clear by now? I got very excited for the prequels, the sequels, the Mandos. I'm excited for Kenobi and probably whatever else they serve us up. I don't always like what they serve us up, but I always get excited for it nevertheless. And I just wonder why I'm not here with the Lord of the Rings prequel series on Amazon. And I wondered, is it because, unlike Lucas, Tolkien isn't alive to give his blessing? Well, of course it's not, because he wasn't alive when Peter Jackson did his thing with that masterpiece. Speaking of not masterpieces quite so much, is it because of The Hobbit? I mean, while I accept the Hobbit trilogy's many flaws and the fact that dragging one shortish book into 3 films was a really bad decision, and obviously, a money-making decision, I still, all of that aside, I quite liked the Hobbit films. Obviously, nowhere near as much as The Lord of the Rings, but I read that book as a kid growing up, and I appreciated at least having those films in my life. So I have been wondering why I'm not excited as I should be, and I've just come to the conclusion, really, that I just simply don't know enough about it, and perhaps the initial suspicion remains of how they're going to treat, this beloved, let's say, franchise now. But Aragorn, I'm looking for the quote here somewhere, Aragorn has ridden into the rescue and started to make me feel a bit better about the situation. Oh, I had a graphic prepared for you all, which I should have had on when I began this ramble a few minutes ago, but I've got Aragorn's quote here. Vigo, where is it? Here's the quote, which I will read out for you, mostly for the purpose of avoiding awkward silence, I suppose. Am I worried that they would try to be like Game of Thrones and have a certain level of obituary violence and stuff like that? I don't know. It's J.A. Bayana, who is a Spanish director who's very talented. They are doing it in New Zealand, so I would imagine they would have the benefit of Peter Jackson's advice and maybe some of his crew members. I would think that they have every opportunity to do it right. They have a good example to follow. So those were the words of Viggo Mortensen as read out and probably destroyed by me, Jamie Stangvroom. Now, I didn't know, and it's not a shock, but I didn't know that this was going to be shot in New Zealand. And as Viggo says, that probably means it's quite likely that Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit crew will be involved. It is a freelance industry after all. And this does make me a bit more comfortable and has increased the excitement factor a little bit. At least the visual vibe of those films will remain. I'm sure it won't look exactly the same. Of course it won't. And hopefully it won't try and be something else like Game of Thrones. I don't think Middle-earth needs that. And I guess I was also worried. I am just rambling here. I was also worried, and I'm going to come to the chat in just a moment. I was also worried that it would involve core Lord of the Rings characters, like, say, a young Aragorn, and then take us right up to the Fellowship. But something I also missed, and actually you can see this in the background behind Viggo. Well, you can't see it because Vigo's blocking it, and also the quote's blocking it. But believe me, behind the background is one of the maps that was posted on the official Lord of the Rings Amazon Twitter feed, and the maps appear to confirm that this series will take place during the second age of Middle-earth. Now, I realise if you're not a Lord of the Rings fan, the last few minutes and probably the next couple of minutes are going to be a bit dull for you, but The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings took place thousands of years after the second age of Middle-earth. And I think I'd be right in saying that the second age is around when Sauron would have been creating the One Ring to eventually rule them all. But anyway, I've done more research. I'm positively intrigued now. And I just remembered when I first heard the news about this series being a thing, my heart sank. Then I learned it was a prequel trilogy. I was a little bit happier, but just I kind of forgot about it, to be honest. And then I saw Viggo talking, or read him talking, and just looked into it a bit more. And I think I'm a little bit more excited about it. I'm happier about it. Vigo, baby, you did it. But we have got a little while to wait to see how this turns out. I believe there is no release date. So just wanted to get that off my chat, really. Let's see what people are thinking in the chat. I'm going to scroll up to the top. Sige is pretty excited. So you're not very excited. You're a bit like me then. I think we're both on the pretty excited level. Simon Drake, hasn't Lenny Henry just been cast in Lord of the Rings? Has he? That would be interesting. And for any of our non-UK viewers, Lenny Henry is a very famous, comedian and, I guess because I don't think he's very funny, an actor in the UK. I haven't heard that. Jamie R.R. Stangroom, though, Simon Drake. Yes, I'll take that. Tristan Peterson is also pretty excited. So nobody's very excited. I think Robert Steinman is excited. And Peter Mitchell feels the same way. I think you feel the same way as me, being a little bit concerned. Lord of the Rings trilogy is your favourite movies. They have stood the test of time so well. It is unbelievable. 20 years almost, and they still look like, if they came out in the cinema tomorrow, I think would still all be, well, we wouldn't think they were 20 years old anyway, would still all be in awe. The Muck Rib is back, Scooter. Is it? I just don't know. I don't know about that. And now the question has been asked in the US or the UK. I'd probably missed something here. I'm just seeing what I believe are McDonald references being made. Simon Drake enjoyed the extended Lord of the Rings original 3 films are my default. And do you know what? That's something I liked about the Hobbit. And again, there were a lot of things I didn't like about the Hobbit movies, but I liked the extra details that weren't in the Hobbit books that were put into the Hobbit films. For some people, those films were long enough anyway, and these weren't, quite as captivating for especially casual Tolkien fans as the Lord of the Rings. But I enjoyed those, those extra details. Seeing Christopher Lee pop up again in the Hobbit as well. Simon's not a mega fan of fantasy genre like Game of Thrones. And you watched the Hobbit films, the trilogy, this year, and you thought they were decent, but in general, you're a little bit meh towards the Lord of the Rings, and that is okay. I won't hold it against you. I guess I was a bit meh towards this series, but I'm building. The excitement is building. I think the McDonald's conversation's still going on as well. Angmar stuff in the Amazon series from Schnuggles. That could be a good shout. It is so cold in this shed tonight. Never broadcast from a shed. Just keep your garden, utensils or tools or whatever you call them, in a shed. Don't keep yourself in a shed. That's what I've learned from the last few weeks. Peter Mitchell hopes the Weta Workshop is involved. I don't know about that. I know that they've already had 5 seasons commissioned, I believe. I do know that. Tristan Peterson is reading the books for the first time. Just started Return of the King, and I am in the middle of watching Two Towers for the first time. So you're watching Two Towers for the first time. So had you read the books before seeing the films? Because obviously the books came out a long time before the films, but for most people, it's probably fair to say that they saw the films before reading the books. Most people probably never read the books, so that's cool that you're doing both. Chad Campbell's in the house. I try to do a Lord of the Rings Extended Edition trilogy once a year. Some really fantastic films. The extended versions, defaults. That's where you've got to start and that's where you've got to end. You've got to stick with those extended ones. Maybe we should do a watch-along one day. I don't know how those watch-alongs work. I see people doing them on YouTube. I'll do that. Just sort of block out a weekend. We might just about squeeze all 3 extended editions in. Okay, Simon Drake regarding Lenny Henry being cast in Lord of the Rings. It's on the Empire website, so legitimate source, people. Sige, thumbs up for Angmar being covered as well. Sige loved the Battle for Middle-earth expansion. Peter Mullen, Scottish actor, also confirmed for Lord of the Rings. So there are some casting details slowly coming out. they've been coming out for a while now, but it looks like there's been some recent ones that I hadn't heard, including Lenny Henry. So Tristan Peterson's come back to me, reading books first. These movies are my dad's all-time favourite movies. You know what? When my, hopefully this doesn't happen anytime soon, but when my dad passes, I think I will then do a Chad Campbell, annual Lord of the Rings trilogy viewing, extended, of course, in honour of my dad, because my dad, they were his favourite books growing up, and I didn't read the Lord of the Rings as a kid, but he got me to read The Hobbit as a kid, and when I was older, I read The Lord of the Rings by choice. And do you remember, obviously they filmed all of the films in one chunk. The cast and crew took years out of their lives to just go and move to New Zealand, essentially, and shoot all three. And then they had, them ready, teed up to release. It was every Christmas, wasn't it? For 3 years at Christmas. And that became a tradition for me and my dad and my brother as well. And a few other family members were occasionally invited to tag along. So, I sort of relate these films to that relationship with my dad, really. So, yeah, a bit like you there, Tristan. Right then. Peter Stubach, any thoughts on the new 4K Lord of the Rings now in the cinema? Seen all three in a row. You saw all three in a row on the 29th of November with an introduction by Peter Jackson. Wow, I'm jealous. I haven't been to a cinema for a long time, like a lot of people. I'm very jealous of you there. I imagine that was pretty awesome, yeah? Chad Campbell's never read the books. That's okay. I'm not going to hold it against you. I've never read a book since I read those books, to be honest, about 20 years ago. It doesn't make you could make you a terrible person. It could. I mean, because there could be other things about you that make you a terrible person that we just don't know yet about, Chad. But I just don't see how it could be that much better than the films. Could be, though. For me, they're not better than the films because I'm not a big reader, so I'll always enjoy that visual cinematic experience more than reading a book. But there are just extra details and things that were played out differently. For example, I'm not going to give any spoilers. I shouldn't give spoilers, should I? Just in case you decide to read the books. There's just a little bit of extensions, more extensions. It's the extended extension, something like that. Sige, The Hobbit is probably the better book. It's one short-ish book, especially compared to The Lord of the Rings. And as a kid, that was much more manageable for me. The Lord of the Rings was tough. So like I said, I held off on that for a few years. Am I going blue? It's pretty cold in here. I'm going to be bluer than that background shortly. Right, keep the comments coming in on this, but we are 20 minutes in, and this is my attempt to, for the first time ever, do a 30-minute stream, because people just I don't blame them, to be honest, but people unsubscribe in their droves every time I do these live shows. So I just wondered about doing a shorter thing. And also, someone disliked this show, this video, about 4 hours before it even started. How's that even possible? Are they a time traveller? Did they travel forward in time and see my technical mishap at the beginning, playing the intro in incorrectly, and then since then progressively been turning into a smurf and rambling about who knows what? In which case, fair enough, it deserved that thumbs down. While we're here though, people, why not give it a thumbs up? Thank you. What about our second story? Oh yeah, I've been working hard on the Photoshop this week. I'm worried. I'm a little bit concerned, people. I am a little bit concerned about little Grogu. Do you think he'll break bad? Perhaps he already is a bit bad, a conclusion that probably all frogs have come to. In fact, they're probably considering him to definitely be a bad whatever he is. Still don't know that species name. And I hope not, but he's definitely been flirting with it. Now, I've made a few notes of things that he's done are bad. Frogs. Just wrote frogs at the top. Force choking Kara. Well, perhaps he read her tweets. Stealing food from children. Not evil, but still not cool. Throwing stormtroopers around for, I presume he was having fun. Bottom line is, he's shown a few worrying signs. And this might be a bit far-fetched, but I read a theory that he might have witnessed the youngling slaughter at the Jedi Temple at the hands, of course, of the Jedi formerly known as Anakin Skywalker. So I think it was, I guess it was a fan theory, wondering, did he just hide and let it happen? And therefore, does that make him a bad Grogu? And I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe I'll defend him on that one because he was a kid then, like an actual kid then, not a 50-year-old kid. And he was probably scared. And let's be honest, he probably wasn't going to be a match or couldn't be a match for Darth Vader anyway. Crucially though, Ahsoka talked about his vulnerability and attachment to Din. Din is his Padme, and now he's away from Din, his Padme. And I expected the season finale to be Grogu getting captured by Gideon. Now it's not. I'm wondering if he will get manipulated by Gideon. He's away from Din. You know, he's probably open to it, and we'll end on some kind of dark side cliffhanger, and then have a year to wait to see if Din, maybe a Jedi, can sort of pull him out of it. Because for Din, this is going to be very confusing, isn't it? You know, he's only just learned about the Jedi. Is he even prepared to learn about the Sith yet? So I'm thinking Grogu's going to break bad. Hopefully not fully bad. And as we know, Star Wars is a story of redemption. And I have to say as well, I never expected this series to get, I'm getting quite deep into the Force here, into the Jedi and the Sith, light and dark. And I never expected this series to go in that direction. Probably not the direction I would have chose, and perhaps it's not going in that direction. This is just one, minor strand within. But let's see what you guys think. I think I covered all of the Lord of the Rings comments. I will answer your question, Scooter, which is not about this. I will answer it though. Sorry, I am getting more blue, aren't I? It's so cold. Off topic, but Jamie, have you talked to Kevin Smith since the release of The Empire Strikes Door and his heart attack? Well, I recorded. I met him before his heart attack, and then I met him after his heart attack. So actually, there's 2 clips of him in The Empire Strikes Door, and you'll see 2 different Kevin Smiths, really. So the first clip, pre-heart attack, he's looking, a little bit on the chubby side. Post-heart attack, he's obviously lost a lot of weight. He became a vegan, etc. Changed his lifestyle. And that's when he gave his jury feedback. So I met him twice for The Empire Strikes Door. And one pre-heart attack, one post-heart attack. How I spoke to him since? Just an email. I sent him the final film. Right. Here we go. Yeah, someone doesn't like the salad. I know. I mean, salad's not for everybody. Not everybody likes their greens, but we are talking green here. So Grogu. And Peter, I'm still jealous that you saw Lord of the Rings in 4K in a cinema. Sige, he does give in to his desires. I thought it was just a toddler-like response, but now he's maybe more mature than we first thought. Yeah, there's more going on in there. He's 50 years old, man, and he's stealing food. He's eating eggs. He's eating live frogs if we go back to season 1. But it all boils down to his love of food and Din, basically, because when he started force choking Cara, of course, he might have seen her tweets, but really he thought Din was at threat because they were having the arm wrestle, weren't they? Ragdolling Stormtroopers is always fun from David Milano. Yeah, and, I can't blame him for that. He was definitely having a good time. Also from David Milano as well, the one who knocks am I. I like that. We should have that tagged on to my my rudimental photoshopping. Where are we? Grogu's going to get hooked on frog eggs and will start a frog. Yeah. A new spawn of Jedi Knight. Maybe he was saved from Sige here. Maybe he was saved by an evil Jedi like Vader or Palpatine. Yeah. That is, well, I suppose he never named. He said to Ahsoka, I was in the Jedi Temple when the purge happened, the attack, and someone took me, someone put me into a safe place, and then it all goes dark. So perhaps there is no detail on that, is there? Outside of Empire Strikes Back, have stormtroopers ever been threatening? No, and I don't think they can be now, because it would be so out of sync. for the regular stormtroopers to all of a sudden be really menacing and to hit all their targets. It would just be so out of sync. It would completely take me out anyway now if all of a sudden they were randomly, the standard stormtroopers, really really sharp. Saily Red is in the house. Grogu, by the end of the show, say my name. Grogu, you're goddamn right. So yeah, we're getting all the quotes here to add to my Photoshop poster. Love it. End credits concept art from HG here showed Grogu walking like a baby. Fear. And we all know what that leads to. Yeah? Oh, wailing like a baby, sorry. Yeah, I said walking like a baby. But yes, wailing like a baby. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Because when he's getting thrown off, he doesn't look happy about the situation, but he's certainly not crying or wailing, is he? But yeah, in the concept art, he looks a lot more distressed about it. So that is only going to build onto his sort of his confusion and his fear and his loss of Din, I guess, as well. Nick doesn't think he will turn just yet. I don't know. I think. I mean, there's going to be a cliffhanger. There's going to be a cliffhanger, isn't there? And I really thought it would be, like I said before, the capturing of Grogu. So I'm just thinking what else could happen. But, this series has been fairly good at surprising us. So maybe it will not be anything to do with Grogu, how they end this series. Maybe Grogu's not as important. I think he probably is, but maybe he's not as important as we are being led to believe. Sidge, you asked a question which I've lost. Do we know if there's going to be a third series? Yeah, we do. No, it's not going to end here. I believe they're close to going into production for it. Gus Gideon himself, Giancarlo Esposito, has talked about Series 3, and I think he may have even talked beyond that as well. He's been pretty open in his interviews. He seems like a great guy. I'm a big Breaking Bad fan, so I would love... He's on the list. He's on the list. He doesn't know it, but he is on the dream list for interviews, just to be clear. If there's anything I've missed, copy and paste it back in. I'm struggling to scroll with my frozen fingers right now. Yeah, HG, I think this is the Strikes Back season. No happy ending this time. You see, Star Wars has done it before, left audiences, on a cliff edge for... Well, how long was there between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi coming out? That was a good 3 years, was it? Was it 83 Jedi? Someone can tell me. I wasn't born. Someone can tell me though in the chat. But we would only have a year to wait. I say only. We would only have a year to wait, at least, because I think it's already scheduled. Assuming we don't have another pandemic of some sort. This is already scheduled for this time next year, season 3. Scooter. What do they call these? Super chat. Yeah, thank you, Scooter, for the super chat. Last time I was given a super chat, I didn't know what they were called, and it was so awkward. And then the light went out, and then my laptop died. Do you remember that first show when I had no battery power? 4 years. Sidge says 80 for Empire, 84 for Jedi. I was a year out. Oh, hang on. Someone else is saying 83 though. Someone's saying 3 years. Tristan's saying 3 years. Sidge is saying 4. Chad's saying 3. We've got a debate, people. We need Wikipedia or Wikipedia to put an end to this debate once and for all. But I thought it was 83. Did I say 83 earlier for Jedi? I thought it was 83 for Jedi, but I don't know the Empire release date. You are welcome, Scooter. It was off topic, but it's cool. I'm always happy to talk about The Empire Strikes Door. I will be talking about it on my deathbed until it gets, to 100,000 views. I will be talking about that documentary. Long way to go to get there. Sidge is backpedaling. He's agreeing. It's 3 years now, so we're all on 3. And just in case you're wondering, Bond fans, 83, same year as Octopussy. As Simon Drake has put into the trap. Broadcasting in a shed in the middle of winter is a trap in the chat. Right. Okay. So, yes, Philip, you are always late to these streams. And you say I start streaming while you're eating your dinner. Well, this is your dinner. We've got a geek salad to get through together. You don't need your actual dinner. Who doesn't like tossed salad? I know. We all like a geek salad, tossed or not. I'm going back to see if I missed anything on Grogu. But anyway, I think Grogu's gonna end the season a bad boy, and I think we might even have his first kill. Oh yeah, I'm saying it now. I'm putting it out there now. His first kill, and by that I don't mean a frog for breakfast. I mean a first kill. What if the season ends with the rescue crew getting ambushed by Thrawn's fleet? Yeah, the Thrawn thing and Ahsoka is a funny one. It can't just be that, a casual name drop. So I feel like that will come back into play. I feel like Bo-Katan will come back into play, and obviously she is on the hunt for Gideon, so could therefore cross paths with Din and co, the crew. But with the Thrawn and Ahsoka, I'm just wondering if that's going to be something else for something else. Is that another series, whether it be live action or animated? Simon Drake, cold is temporary, streaming is forever. Cold is temporary, hopefully. I really hope. Because if it's not and streaming is forever, then I'm in trouble. You're going to watch me die. Probably be finally, it'll be what this channel needs. Me to die, for it to be a hit at last. Ideal casting for Thrawn from David Milano. Do you know what? And this was put into my head by somebody else, because I can't think for myself. But there was I don't know if it was concept art or fan art or something, but there was an image of Thrawn where he looked a lot like Pierce Brosnan. And now I can't get Pierce Brosnan out of my head, so I don't know if he's my ideal casting, but at the moment that's how I'm picturing it. What do you guys think? We have gone over half an hour, but we'll keep going for a little bit longer if you guys want me to suffer for you. As Peter has mentioned, artists do suffer for their art. Yes, Chad, I know, 33. Are you, Chad? I think Chad wants me to stop. Chad was quite quick as soon as we hit the half an hour mark. So, Jamie, time to wrap up. No, I'm sure Chad wants me to continue. We'll do a few more minutes. It was a portrait at Celebration, was it, from Tristan there? Jamie Stangram as Thrawn. I'll do it. It will be awful, but I'll do it. I'm not afraid to create awful content. As you know, I've been doing it for a long time now. Philip Hawkins, off topic, but have you watched the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special yet? I watched it this week. It was fun. Got a few laughs out of me. By the way, guys, if you are a Doctor Who fan, Philip Hawkins covers a lot of Doctor Who on his channel. I have not seen it yet. I'm not ready for Christmas yet. I guess it came out around Thanksgiving, and with that not being a big thing here in the UK, for me, the holiday season hasn't started yet. I know people are putting their trees up earlier this year, I guess because of the gloom and doom of the pandemic, but gloom and doom stays with me all year round, mate. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to be festive, but I will watch it. I will watch it probably when The Mandalorian's finished, because I'd want to make a video, to tell you what I think about it. And at the moment, The Mandalorian, I'm trying to get out my other content and sort of really get the channel going in the direction I want it to go in. And you guys know what it is. But for new people coming right now, it's probably a bit confusing. Obviously, all the coverage is Mandalorian at the moment, and so it should be. But I've got a lot of other stuff, including Lightspeed Tonight, that I need to start putting out there. But The Mandalorian doing 2 videos a week, which is surprisingly takes up a lot of time, and editing the other bits at the same time, spinning plates, sort of held me back a bit. So I haven't watched the holiday special. I just gave you loads of information you didn't need, you didn't desire, I'm sure. But there we go. I haven't seen it yet, but I will. Okay, I'm going to go through these last comments. Yeah, no, Chad, you're still here. Chad's still here, and it's 5 minutes past the 30. We are going to wrap up in a few minutes. I'm just going to do the last Few comments here. HG, the Thrawn art HG saw was a dead ringer for Benedict Cumberbatch. That's a good shout. That's a good shout. Benedict Cucumber Patch. David Milano. Do you mind me singing your name, by the way? I think Lars Mikkelsen, who did the voice in Rebels, would be great. Looks like him too. Another shout for Cumberbatch, Cucumber Patch, or Guy Pearce is Thrawn. Scooter would love to be able to last 30 minutes. Mate, try 36 minutes and I'm still going. Another shout for Lars Mikkelsen, or am I reading the same one? No, this is Sanely Red this time. And, of course, it's previously been unusual for an animated voice actor to then play the live action version of their character, but that obviously with Bo-Katan went out the window, so who knows, anything is possible. Skywalker Sound, Jamie, have you spoken to Ahmed Best recently? Yes, I spoke to him quite a few times in the summer, so it's not certainly doesn't feel recently right now, but it's so cold. And we are due another chat. We're cooking something up. We're due another chat soon, probably in the new year now. So I will keep you posted on that. But yeah, good old Ahmed. Chad Campbell, heads up. Chad's still in the house. I would love to see a live version of These Are the Actors You're Looking For, mostly focused on you guys asking, but occasionally letting us drop a question could be fun. Yeah. Do you know what? I would love to do that. I would love to do a live one with an audience, like in the real world. You know, that's so like last year, isn't it? But obviously with 2020 in mind and the new normal, of course we could do it online. There's a number of previous guests, not all, but there's a fair few who would pretty much talk to me whenever. So there's probably something we could organise. But my main problem is Adobe Flash Player flashing up at me. That's a bit rude. My main problem is the technology of my streams at the moment, and it's basically while I'm here, which is going to be for another probably couple of months, the way the world's going at the moment. But in the UK, vaccinations have started, so the end is hopefully in sight. But my point is, I'm not happy. I take pride in my my videos. Over the years, I come from a radio background, didn't know how to use a camera. I've learned how to use cameras. I've got a better camera in recent times. I take more pride in how the videos look. So I get really down by the streams, the way they look, and it's partly down to my laptop's really bad. The internet where I am at the moment is really bad. Like, that's the main problem, obviously. But I want to put my posh camera into this computer, and I tried it. I got one of those little kind of cam link things. Laptop couldn't handle it. So I would love to do that, but at the moment it's really down to technology. It's not about getting the guest, which is the annoying thing, because I suppose for most people it would be getting the guest is the main problem. We've got the technology. So I need to team up with someone who's got the technology. And we'll get Gene's guy on for sure, Simon Drake. But yeah, I would love to do that. And it's when I've occasionally in the past put out, I've asked people to get involved with questions, and that's been cool in the past as well. But I think there's something, in it when it's live, it's a bit more special for everybody, isn't it? So I would definitely let you guys drop a question in. So there we go. That was just another 5 minutes added on to the stream of me answering one question, which could have been answered a lot quicker than that. But as you've said, Chad yourself, potentially much more difficult. Not really. It's just a technology. That's all it is. It's not a case of getting a guest. I'm recording January's These Are the Actors You're Looking For tomorrow, by the way. And it is someone from the Phantom Menace. And here's a clue. And I'm not gonna tell you who it is, and I'm not gonna say if you get it right. Is it? I don't know if anybody's still here. Chad's definitely not still here. I'm 10 minutes over 30 now, but it's going to be with someone from the Phantom Menace who was in a scene that we have mentioned tonight. That's all I'm gonna say. But I will not say who it was. I will not say who it was. Right, I'll go through these final comments. Chad is still here. He's barely hanging on, but he is still here, barely. Sidge is up for a live version. We'll travel. Yeah, you know, travel's like my favourite thing of all time. So I would travel. I'll just travel to you, Sidge. I'll travel to you, David. I'll travel to you, Chad, Tristan, everybody. It's all right. It's not Theo Bibble, but I'm not saying who it is. But it's not Theo Bibble. That's hard to say when you're cold. Okay, I think I've covered all comments. David Milano is excited for Lightspeed tonight. Good. It's a horrible edit. I have to say, it's a really horrible edit. But I've edited like 2 of the 3 episodes. And yeah, a little bit of sort of polishing to do of the 2 that are done, but I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Like, I hope you guys like it. It's weird. It's not long, by the way. You know, it took a long time to make, and it's the hardest thing to ever self-shoot. I've got used to self-shooting. But this was so hard. There was so many things to worry about at the same time. But I hope you guys will enjoy it. When I say it's not long, they're like sort of 5-minute episodes. Scooter's off. Scooter's had enough. Fair enough, mate. Take care. Edinburgh Festival 2021 or 2022. Well, for my comedian friends, they're feeling very downbeat about the 2021 festival. By the way, I've talked about this with Ahmed on the street on an interview before, so it's not a secret, but he's hoping to take his one-man show to the Edinburgh Festival, so maybe we can sort of double up. That'd be cool. I'm not sure if he'll agree, but right, I think we're good. Tristan's off as well. All right, everybody, it's been 42 minutes. You know what? Next week, can you all just log out after 30 minutes? Can you just leave after 30 minutes? Just leave me on my own so I get the hint and then I end the stream, please. But let me just say as well, 2 things. If you haven't seen December's episode of These Are the Actors You're Looking For with Tim Donaldson, played a Jawa. He's got an interesting story. He's one of the Death Valley Jawas, not one of the from the UK crew or the crew out in Tunisia. Interesting story. So that's out there already. And thank you to every single one of you for watching this stream. Thank you to every single member of the Patreon as well. Those on the Geeky Minders and Geek Age Fan Club tiers appearing on your screen as per the contractual arrangement. Blimey, I should stop now. I'm struggling to speak. I think we all know why. Have I mentioned I'm in a shed and it's very cold in here? It's in the middle of winter. But that's it. I think everyone's gone. You all took the hint. Thank you, everybody. I will now work out how to stop the stream. And I'll see you next week. Take care.